Dear friends, greetings to you from all of us at St. Paul's Institute, Ranchi, Sarkhand. I am Brother Prabhat Kujur, a student of this institute. As all of us are aware, COVID-19 has emerged as the most important topic in the world today. Every day, we get a lot of information pertaining the origin, the nature, and the spread of this disease, and what all preventive and curative measures can be taken by people. As a student who is interested in knowing more and more about it, I had approached our director, Father Philip John, few days back with some questions related to impact of COVID-19 on the world today. He has taken sufficient time to prepare himself and deal with those questions for benefit of all of us. Father Philip John has a postgraduate degree in theology and has done 2 years of study in psychology and counseling. Of course, he is not an expert to speak on the impact of COVID-19. However, he has taken a lot of care in updating himself on this topic. Thus, we feel that he is perhaps the appropriate person for us right now to throw more light on it. Therefore, I am here today to welcome him gladly. Once again, I extend a hearty welcome to you, dear Father, and I thank you very sincerely for coming forward to accept this difficult task. Once again, I thank you, dear Father, and I wish you all the best in your video presentation.
Dear Brother Prabhat Kujur, thank you so much for your words of welcome, encouragement, and support. On my part, I would like to invite all of you to become active participants in this program by attentively listening to the video. You're also welcome to give your views and comments based on the video. It would have been very nice for us to listen to the views of an expert who could throw light on the impact of COVID-19 from various perspectives, such as medical, economic, social, global, psychological, religious, etc. However, it may be very difficult for us to find such a person who will be able to speak authoritatively from all these different angles or perspectives. Even though I am not a competent person to speak on the impact of COVID-19, Brother Prabhat Kujur has, in a way, motivated me to answer his questions in the light of the limited knowledge I have obtained on this topic. On account of the time constraints, I am not in a position to go into details. I shall try to be brief, precise, and rather objective in my evaluation of things. I shall be careful also to avoid irresponsible statements, rash judgments, prejudices, wild speculations, misleading remarks, etc. There's a lot of research and study is still going on all over the world on COVID-19. It may be too early for any of us to come with the definite conclusions. Thank you. Now I shall try to answer the first question given to me. The question is this. Question number 1. Could you please share with us some insights regarding the origin, the nature, and the spread of COVID-19, as there are conflicting views given by different people? Before we come to the origin of the COVID-19, we need to keep in mind that the medical research scholars were quite aware of the presence of the coronavirus, which is causing this disease. But the present version of it, a mutated version of it, still remains as a baffling mystery and a life-threatening reality before all of us. With regard to the origin of COVID-19, there are several views. Here are some of the popular ones. The first view is that it was noticed in Wuhan in China in few individuals who had consumed seafood items. The doctor who informed several others about this new deadly virus also got infected with it and later died. The second view is that it has emerged from Wuhan in China on account of the consumption of the meat of wild animals and reptiles like anteaters, snakes, bats, scorpions, etc. Some researchers seem to have found almost 99% similarity between the coronavirus found in human beings and the bodies of anteaters and bats. The third view is that it was first found in Saudi Arabia in a man who had a lungs infection. It was then taken to Netherlands for further study and research. From there, it was taken to Canada. Meanwhile, some of the medical researchers from China came to know about it. They joined the medical team there and brought it to Wuhan in China for further studies. The mutated version of the coronavirus, that it has emerged on account of a natural process of evolution or on account of some human intervention or manipulation, still remains as an unsolved question. How it came out also remains a mystery. Whether it came out accidentally or someone deliberately brought it out and spread. The fourth view the Chinese people suspect is that during last year, when there was a joint military exercise of Chinese and American soldiers, one or some of the American soldiers brought it to destroy the Chinese economy. The fifth view is simply based on speculation. It is brought by some aliens from some other planets. Therefore, on our part, at this juncture, it is very difficult for anyone to say anything definite regarding the origin of the new kind of coronavirus causing the disease. Now, coming to the second part of the question, the nature of the new coronavirus, according to the Johns Hopkins University of Research Studies, it cannot be even called a living organism. It's only a protein molecule surrounded by a layer of a lipid or fat element. When it comes into contact with the mucus emanating from the nostrils, mouth, or eyes of a person, it goes through a process of mutation and becomes multiplier and attacker cells. It cannot be killed. It can only disintegrate by itself. Once the fat layer is removed, it disintegrates. That is the reason why we are told to refrain from touching our eyes, mouth, or nostrils so that it may not come in contact with the mucus particles coming from us. We are also asked to wash our hands often with soaps or detergents. When we do that, the fat layer is removed and the virus disintegrates and is dissolved in the water. How long it can last depends on the prevailing temperature, humidity, etc., and the kind of surface on which it is present. The third part of the question is how it spreads. Even though it is not an airborne virus and it can spread only through human contacts, the speed with which it has spread all over the world is really amazing. The spread of the virus can be controlled a lot by social distancing, lockdown, etc. Those who manifest the symptoms of COVID-19 will have to go for immediate medical examination and treatment if found to be infected. Certain preventive measures also can be taken by people, like taking care of to build up one's immune system by the intake of some additional vitamins and proteins, the form of vitamin tablets and food items. However, moderation has to be exercised, or else the sudden increase in these things may have adverse effects on the body. Now we shall take up the second question. Question is, do you feel that the outbreak of this virus can lead to exploitation of people, especially the most ordinary people? What are the measures that can be taken to prevent such exploitation? The answer is yes. If people are not sufficiently vigilant, all the more during this time of panic, it is possible for people to exploit others and be exploited by others. The poor and the illiterate people often become the victims. Those who exploit others, they know how to manipulate others, sometimes without even letting the victims know about it. Manipulation takes place in almost all the areas of our daily lives. Here, shall try to focus on the possibility of manipulation only in the medical and media fields. During the time of this global crisis, all of us need to appreciate and be grateful to all the health professionals all over the world who are doing a praiseworthy service in treating the COVID-19 affected patients, risking even their own lives. We also need to appreciate the great efforts the medical researchers are making to find a suitable remedy for the COVID-19. Health professionals are duty bound to abide by the rules of medical ethics. However, at times it can happen that some of them may be tempted to make some extra financial gain by taking advantage of the ignorance and helplessness of people. On our part, we need to see that we don't try to exploit anyone and also be vigilant not to allow anyone to exploit or manipulate us. The civil authorities also should come forward to see that such manipulation does not take place. With regard to the influence of media in dealing with this situation, we need to be immensely grateful to the media persons for making valiant efforts in giving us prompt and reliable information on various things related to COVID-19. However, we also need to keep in mind that during this time of a crisis, some of them may give us news and views without even verifying the facts. They also may fail to abide by the ethical standards on account of their concern for increasing the media rating and making profit. Almost all human beings are endowed with the capacity to doubt, question, and challenge and evaluate things with a critical mind. Just as the famous Indian story of 6 blind men touching different body parts of an elephant and coming out with their views regarding how an elephant is. No media channel, newspaper, or organization in this world can claim to have the monopoly of truth or fullness of truth. All what they give us is only partial truth. During this time of COVID-19, if we take care to examine critically the news and the reports given by different media persons, we can find a lot of wrong information, fake news, etc. being given to us. On account of our undue fondness for one channel or the other, or one newspaper or the other, we blindly believe their news and views and propagate them to others. We are only strengthening the hands of the exploiters to exploit others further. The civil authorities also have a duty to examine the presentations of the media and come out with some punitive measures if they are found to be guilty. At the same time, they should have also ample freedom to do their work properly. I hope you have gained some new insights from our presentation. In the next video, we shall consider 3 more questions related to the impact of COVID-19. We hope to make it available to you within 3 or 4 days. Hope you will come back to listen to that video also. Till then, bye, keep well, and take care of yourself. Thanks.